I do have the auto adjust for the lighting set on this camera currently, so I hope it is adjusting the lighting. I'm looking through the screen. I don't see much of anything. It's so dark under here. Hello and welcome. I call the channel the Jungle Nook, and today the video I'm making is like a continuation or an update on a previous video, moving houseplants outdoors for the summer. In that video, I talked about some of the differences in care that they'll require as far as watering and fertilization, talked a little bit about how light scatters and the difference in intensity between indoor and outdoor light. I did some demonstrations showing how to condition your plants to prevent sunburn, as well as the proper way to perform a soil flushing to prevent fertilizer burn of the roots. So yeah, we're going to be doing some work out here today too. I got a bunch of plants in the house, and I'll take some cuttings from in here. I want to make up some more hanging baskets. I have 4 of these baskets left. Showed them before. I like using these hanging baskets in the house because they have their own drainage. When I water, I don't got to worry about water going on the floor. I'll talk about all of this when we get to that, probably towards the end of the video. Let's walk around the porch and get a look at how it looks. Get a look at it. So, I have not cleaned up the porch. I haven't cleaned up the plants or anything. If I had done all that, I probably wouldn't have made a video today. Here are some of my full sun plants that I have outside. This is the sunniest spot on my deck out here, and you know, I just got them stuck right there so they can have full advantage of the light that's available in this spot. I'm not going to move them. They're just going to stay right here and grow out over the summer, so they're fuller and more lush when I bring them in late fall. Now, in that video that I made, I talked about how important it is to not only keep your plants well hydrated while they're outside, but also how they require more nutrients due to all the available light. Well, I have been so busy that I have not really been fertilizing my plants, and they have even dried out a few times. I had stated in that video that I am a landscaper and gardener by trade, and that I'm real busy until the 4th of July, and then things kind of slow down. That did not happen. But I have moved more of my plants outside, and we'll take a look at them before we start doing some propagation, making up some more hanging baskets. These leaves right here are new. You can see the difference in the color. These were grown under grow lights in the house, and these ones outside in the full sun. You see how green they are, and they I don't know how to describe this, but because they're outside in the wind and stuff, they're more I don't know how to describe it. The wind's not going to blow these over and break them, as opposed to this bird of paradise over here, which that's exactly what happened right here. But you know, this has been about a month. It's been a month since I made that first video on moving the houseplants outside. This leaf is still engaging in photosynthesis, even though it broke over, and it does have some new growth starting right here. This guy, I had stated in a previous video that I had expected this to double or triple in size while it's on the porch. I would still think it will double in size compared to what it was when I made that statement. This plant's much smaller now. If you've been following the channel, this plant had some issues. The big one, really the biggest issue, was my grow light started failing in the house, and it just dropped a lot of leaves from inadequate light. So there's not as much foliage on this right now to engage in photosynthesis and create energy to start pushing out a lot new growth. And I should have been fertilizing this a lot more. I just haven't been. Now, the banana plant, this is a Musa dwarf banana. I showed this in a video where I was just kind of walking around talking about my plants, and in that video I pointed out how I was surprised because the plant was growing straight up, and now all of a sudden it was on an angle, and that was really surprising. I don't know why that happened. I checked the soil, it was nice and firm, moved it outdoors, and I expect this plant to put 1 to 2 leaves a month out. But it wasn't doing that, and I know why now. It wasn't growing new leaves is because I'm getting bananas. Oh, and in the evening I think this closes. Well, you'll get another look at this later in the season. This is going to be bananas right here. This was open earlier. I'm learning about this plant. So what I've learned about the banana, at least the dwarf variety that I am growing, the actual, I don't know what it's called, but this thing here where the bananas are going to grow from, it grows right from the tip of the stalk. And after the bananas are done, the whole plant dies. But they do produce their own little babies. They're called pups, which I do have a bunch of pups on this plant. I was going to get rid of it after this summer on the porch, because it was just getting a little too big. I cut a lot of the leaves off of it, but it was getting a little too big in the house. I don't really have a spot for it. But now that it has all these nice baby plants coming up, I'll probably move it back in. There's several of these pups. And this main plant here will get cut back after the bananas are done. I'm not sure if the growing season here will be long enough to actually finish that whole process or not. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I will get another shot of this in one of the other videos to show this when it's open and as it's getting bigger. Now let's get a look under the roof here on the porch, and then we'll start doing some propagation, making up some new baskets. I wasn't sure what this plant right here is. It's a pothos. So I was like, man, I'm gonna have to try to find this online. I did earlier today too, for maybe 10 minutes. Couldn't find it. It's a semi-rare plant. It's a pothos. These are just all little pots and stuff I had in the house. Actually, it's a global green pothos, which is why I couldn't find it online, because I thought it was a blue pothos, but it's a global green. Okay, I'm gonna go gather up some plants here in a minute, and I'll do my best to identify them. Let's get started. So this potting mix here is just stuff I had in the house. I moistened it last night. It is mostly peat moss, but it's got quite a bit of perlite for drainage and aeration, as well as some vermiculite for, you know, moisture and nutrient retention. It does also help with drainage and aeration as well, but not as good as perlite. Because these are hanging baskets that are going to be hanging from the ceiling, they dry out more, and I like them to be lighter as well. What I'm going to do, because there's quite a bit of perlite in here, and I don't want these baskets to be as well draining as the pots I have on the floor. So what I'm going to do, because there's more perlite in here than what I want, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of vermiculite into these pots as well. And then I'm just going to stick a little bit more vermiculite in here. This is all recycled stuff. Vermiculite, perlite, and peat moss. You do not have to replace it. It doesn't really break down or degrade. It doesn't go bad. I reuse it all the time, especially if I have hanging baskets and stuff or annuals and pots outside. I will definitely reuse that material. So all the global green pothos, because they're already in pots, they already have roots, have a good root structure. I'm just pulling them out and sticking them in here for now. I'm trying to, well, obviously start some new baskets, but I'm also trying to clear up space in the house, getting rid of all this type of stuff. The noding plant, which means it gets a vine, and everywhere a leaf comes out there's a node, and that's where a new root can grow. Now I want this to be a lot fuller, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut some of these tips off. It's already growing whole new vines off of the main vine. These are nice pieces right here. Now all I'm going to do is stick these right into the soil and make sure that this node is in contact or slightly under the soil, and it will grow a whole new vine right out of that same location as well. And I am going to just load this right up. I'm putting quite a few in here. They're going to take quite a while to grow, and they won't all make it. But here's a little tip. If you're doing something like this and you're sticking these nodes in, this leaf is eventually going to die. And be real careful if you're cleaning up the basket, because you might want to just, you know, say, oh, it's a dead leaf, and you go to pull it out thinking it's going to just come right off. You'll end up lifting the whole thing up with the new roots. I've done that a few times. But yeah, this leaf is going to die, and it will grow a new vine right out of there. Be careful when you try to remove the leaf that you don't pull the whole thing out. If you do, just replant it. But it's better not to pull it out in the first place. There we go. New hanging basket. Global, what was it? Global green pothos? Oh, it's got a green on green variegation. This plant wasn't in the best. This was in a really shady spot. Yeah, I'll try to get a better view for you. Green on green variegation. So now we're in the house, in the nook, the room you guys are the most familiar with. We're going to grab some plants out of here. And if you're wondering why, like, okay, so he's busy with work and stuff. Why isn't he at least doing some walkthroughs where he just plays music and doesn't talk and just shows the plants? He ain't even doing that. Well, this is why. This is how the nook looks. Like, yeah, not much of a walkthrough to do in here. Like, the house is pretty well trashed. I mean, yeah, I still got some plants and they're doing healthy and everything's doing okay. But look at the condition of the house. It's like, I'm not going to spend time cleaning up right now because I have things to do, care that they require. But yeah, and my wife's not home for the weekend. This will look a little bit better before she gets back. She has already told me it will. But yeah, I mean, the place is not looking too good. I just pulled a bunch of plants off from this table. I'm going to be using this for propagation as well. You know, I mean, yeah, I want to show you, you know, how things look, because you guys always see when everything looks real nice. It doesn't always look nice. Like, I told you I was going to be getting some new fish. I did get some new fish. They're down here. They're down here. You know, I'm going to be doing a video on all this stuff here pretty soon. But, I did get new fish down there, and I have not been cleaning up anything. Look, I got cords and just stuff everywhere. I bought some other fish in here at Whole School from a big box store. I'm not going to say who, but of course they had ick. Didn't notice it till I got home. Put a second heater in there. All but one died. There's 40 bucks in the trash. These guys are out. Jeez, this is supposed to be a video out on the porch, but I'm just showing you. The house, this is why I'm not making even those quick music videos showing stuff in the house, because, yeah. But anyway, let's go grab some plants. But these plants right here, cobalt blue, I think they're called, we're making the basket up finally of these. Yeah, I like these guys. Nice color, nice shape. What I did, I just put some cuttings in a jar. I put some cuttings in a jar and I let them grow out and have contact with the soil. So they'll start to grow roots. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the end of the growing tips and start pulling this back. I don't have the tripod in here. It's a weed. Oh, jeez. That's just a weed. Yeah. All right. This is just like the other one. I'm going after the nodes. And these guys will have roots, which will be really nice. Most of them will have roots. I'm even going to keep the nodes that don't have leaves. You never know. Wow, these roots. Holy cow. Well, they do have good roots. I'm going to have to get into the soil. And I don't want to. Wow. Roots go deep. I got to get down in there. So This node doesn't have a leaf, but look at the roots it already has. Oh, this is definitely getting planted. By already having roots on them, you know, they're going to grow so much faster for me. All right, I don't know how many I got there. I should have enough. Wish I had more. I don't want to. That's my mother plant. I'm just going to keep that in there, let it grow out again. But I do want some of this. Now this is a Baltic blue. I'm going to want some of these too. Oh, that will be plenty. This again, the mother plant. I got some more plants out on the porch I'm going to take some cuttings from as well. The nice thing about moving your plants outdoors for the summer is it clears up space. Now I'll have an easier time. I want to clean the floors and the walls really good. The plants, there won't be as many plants in there, so it won't be so overwhelming when I go through and start cleaning up the leaves and stuff, you know, washing the leaves off. But yeah, I have not been fertilizing the way that I had told you guys to do to get a lot of new growth off of your plants, to really maximize the growth over the summer while they're outdoors and all the extra light. I've just been really busy, but I did come up with a solution to make my fertilization quicker. Currently what I've been doing is just using the garden hose and going around and real quickly giving them some water every day. Takes a little longer for me to mix up a whole bunch of watering cans and fertilize them, but I have come up with a solution for that. I'll show you in a second. But the plants are still doing good. They are putting out new growth, just not what I would have expected with them, some of them being out here nearly 2 months now. I'm only watering once a day too, but by not giving them all that extra fertilizer, they're not going through as much water, which is good, because a few of them did actually dry out a couple of times. I didn't lose any leaves or nothing, but it does stunt the growth a little bit, especially if they dries out to the point where some of those small water roots, the real small roots, dry out. They got to regrow them. So yeah, basically what's going to happen here, this is, I wish I had more, but they're gonna grow and, you know, put out their own vines. As the vines grow out, I'll trim them up and I'll take the nodes off of those trimmings and just fill this in more. 30-gallon garbage can. I'm just gonna put my fertilizer in here, fill it, and then when I want to fertilize, I just real quick submerge it, pull it out. It's already full, already mixed, and I will go around and fertilize. It'll be a lot quicker. I know the lighting's not going to be very good under here, but I got a couple different varieties of pothos that have a white variegation. I'm not sure which ones they are. There's so many that look very similar. It actually probably is a variety, but I do have a few of the Baltic blue in here. The next basket's going to have more. Do I really want... You know what? I'm going to go back in the house. There's a different plant that I want. So there's a variety of different pothos on here. Boy, I kind of like that. I don't know if I really want to cut off of that. Well, there's another one right here. I forget the name of it. It's some kind of a queen pothos. But it's got slightly different variegation on it than like the golden pothos. Now, this is its vine. right here, and it's not getting very much light down at the floor. That's why we don't have that variegation down here. The more light you have, the better the variegation. Up here, this plant has better light up here. So I'm still gonna cut these because the new vines will get that type of variegation that I'm looking for. I'm going to stick several of the same type of plant right next to each other, so I have the potential for multiple vines coming out in the same spot to make it fuller and a little more dramatic. Or I don't know if dramatic's the right word, but I get these pots right at Home Depot. They're what they're considered is a self-watering pot, and they have that tray underneath to catch and hold the water, which I don't know how that works for self-water. It's really not self-watering. You still have to add the water for one thing, and then it just sits in a tray underneath. But yeah, and the roots, I guess, could grow down into that water tray, but once, you know, if that tray dries up, those roots are just going to dry out. It's great because you don't get water on your floor in your home. It's what I love about these pots, or these baskets rather. I'm going to make up another spider plant. Check out these spider plants. They're really nice. I started these exactly the same way that we're about to do them right now. These plants are probably about 2 years old though. But yeah, this is what those spider plants that we're going to be making up next are going to grow into. Look at all the babies down there. And if you look, it's got flowers on it. These are new little runners that it has sent out. And we're going to have the same thing. It's right here. They're going to grow into this. Each everywhere there's a flower. What I'm going to do, there we go. This is our stock for the next plant. It started growing roots. It's all wrapped around each other. There's more than one here. I do want to divide it. I think that's 4. 5. 6, 7 maybe? I'm just, you see the roots already here. I'm just burying a little bit of it. The roots are buried. The camera even on. Yeah. You guys would be surprised how many times I thought I have filmed stuff and the camera wasn't on. I've gone to edit stuff up because I have a lot of fish tanks and stuff in there, and there's a light that flashes if the camera is recording. I had a little piece of electrical tape, black tape over that. There have been times I was filming stuff and I started out filming correctly, but then I'm just hitting the button. And what will happen is I'll have a whole bunch of, I've filmed a bunch of stuff, but it's what was in between when I was supposed to be filming. I saved the biggest piece to put right in the center. But there's another basket. So I put all of them over here. what's this, the cobalt blue, I think they're called. No. Yeah, cobalt blue. This is two different types of pothos. The Baltic. I'm not even going to tell you the names. Here's the baskets. Here's a spider plant. And the global green pothos. These should be really nice next spring, and you know they'll just keep getting nicer and nicer over the winter. Oh, so it's a marble queen pothos and a Baltic blue pothos in here. Yes. Now look at this. Just show you some more stuff. Look at this. This was in the house, and it was real dark in the back, so there's not really much growth there. But I stuck it over here. It's just going to go back in the house, and I'll find a corner or something to put this in, and it will look nice. And there really is lots of new growth coming off of this plant. I mean, there's a lot of it. And this one's got some new growth starting too. But it's definitely not going to show up. They're down in there. Like, yeah, it's just not going to focus in down there. Another fern. Ollie. Hi. Taking a nap? I'm taking a nap? Yeah, my hands are all dirty. You don't mind. You don't mind, do you? No, you're such a good boy. Yeah. Such a good boy. Oh, hello. Hey. How you doing there, buddy? Yeah. Say hi. Say hello, everybody. You can go back to sleep.